Welcome back. This is Frank Russell Lucas, psychoanalyst and psychologist from São Paulo, Brazil. I got a response from my last video, Bash the Sofa, from Alex in Southern Illinois, who wrote, "Frank, grow up. What's with the child tantrum?" That's exactly the point here, Alex, is that it is within the tantrum that these bioenergetic exercises want to recreate or be able to make a connection between the perception of repressed negative emotion and our emotions of today. When we're sitting alone or when we are forced into isolation, as we are these days, it allows us to get in contact with some very deep, unconscious emotions as to how we respond to the frustration, the anger, and we even feel exceptionally more vulnerable when we are exposed in front of people that we love most. The idea behind bioenergetics is that our fusion with our moms begins in the uterus. And it is in the uterus which becomes an organizational platform of our personalities. Every experience of the mother during her gestation, whether it's joyous or whether it's dangerous or whether it's happy or whether it is sad, whether her security is guaranteed or if it's in question, every one of those feelings unconsciously are transmitted into the fetus in the form of hormones. And these hormones allow for the development of the unconscious of the child. The only way the child is able to feel that and express these emotions in gestation, and really up until almost the whole first year of their lives, is within their body. Every kind of emotion, which basically are posited around love and hate, are all expressed through our body. Mainly in our legs, in our hands, in our heads, in our neck. I'm going to show you some videos right now to take you along the course of how this develops within the womb and until kids are about 5 or 6 with these videos. Here's an incredible MRI of a child in the womb. And even though the child has no way of symbolizing pain or joy, notice how all the emotion is expressed through the legs, pushing, through the arms, through the neck. Here's a child at a very early age, still in fusion with its mother, both in its internal world and its external world. The child doesn't understand the word happy that the mother talks. The child doesn't understand what a piece of paper is. The child just knows its pleasure and displeasure that are provided for by the mother. And inside is where we have a split between pleasure and displeasure that are evolved around the child's fusion with the mother.
Can I have the paper? Can I have the paper? Can I have the paper? Can I have the paper?
Come here, JJ. JJ.
The mother is symbolized by protection. But at the same time, in the child's mind, the mother is also the stalker of the child's greater fears. Here, a very smart grandmother interferes between the mother and the child, discharges the negative energy through touching his thighs and his back. Child turns responsively, positively, into the maternal function represented by the grandmother. Here's a child, as we can see, whose carriage has fallen, meaning that the child identifies herself with an external object.
What's wrong?
She begins to call for her mom, and her mom, rather than being able to appeal and give her that maternal function or that maternal protection, invades her security with the recording of this video.
What is it?
The kicking begins to be a form of protest.
Do you need help?
The stalking negative image of the mother in the child's head becomes associated with the experience lived with the mother.
done?
The evolutionary significance of infancy on the human psyche is to develop a separate sense of self, an ego, which emerges from its fusion with the mother into a clear, separate sense of self from the external world. Emotional shocks during childhood can blur this distinction between self and the world. And as a result, the child becomes insecure in its own perceptions of its bodily sensations and its frontier with the external world. Under pressure, the infant and early child, even teen and adult who defends their ego through regression, do not express their negative emotions through words. Here's a child of about 5 years old. She can use at least 10,000 words and has the command of the passive voice, which confirms her consciousness of an external world. Instead, under pressure by her parents, she expresses her displeasure of being recorded or humiliated by regressing to an infant-like hysterical state, the tantrum. This hysterical response helps the child or adult transcend restrictions placed on their ego. True emotion, which is stored in the body, is expressed through the tantrum with the approval and support of the child or person's ego. Emotion is a person's total and unified response. The hysterical reaction or the tantrum creates a split with the body in defense, while the ego is powerless to stem the flood of emotion. As we have seen, hysterical reactions are common in everyday childhood and older children in regression. But their cumulative effect, especially if parents consciously provoke tantrums, is to increase the dissociation between the ego and the body, which can scar a person forever. Every child has the instinctual expectation for sufficient maternal protection from such provocations and humiliations.
Alright, that does it. Do not throw anything at that TV again, or you're going to your room.
Did the mother say, "Don't touch that TV or you'll go to your room"? Or did she mean to say, "Go back to the womb"? Because as analysis says, our unconscious is structured as a language. And symbolically, the room or the womb are both the places that symbolize a sense of isolation, a return back to a sense of where you felt protected, where you were able to feel that you were part of one, and where you were going was in the best interest of others. So I hope you enjoyed this small video, which answered Alex's question about why the tantrum. And if you tune in next time, I'll show you a few more bioenergetic exercises that you can do to release this repressed negative emotion within your body and bring it together with your new thoughts and perceptions of the experience that we're going through together. Thank you very much. This is Frank Russell Lucas.